I discussed bridging in part 13 because I believe we go through bridging and then gradually transition into balancing. And what I call bridging is what most people call separation. But as you go through this stage, you learn you're actually not separated. And if you're thinking, but we are physically separated, I acknowledge there is a direct physical proximity kind of separation, but a part of the reason for that is to show us how eternal this bond is and how it goes beyond what we perceive here in the 3D. So we physically experience sensations through each other, but this goes beyond even that. And we learn just how everlasting and one we truly are. So then comes balancing. First, we learn what our unique balance is. And this takes time because we have to feel it out and go through certain experiences to recognize and understand it. But then, when that happens, we begin to put it into practice. And there may be some areas that we excel in, while others we may struggle with. So I can feel sturdy with my balance in certain areas, but may still be working on other things or even still learning about them. But once we reach a certain point of awareness with it, we are aware of how our balance feels and we know how to get back to it when we feel misaligned. Like practicing balancing isn't a set way of being. It's a moment to moment way of being true to myself. And this even involves balancing the things I get from my twin, such as I believe the feminine in turn leads with healing. So at first, and maybe even still other times later in the journey, the feminine will feel the lower vibrations of the things that the masculine is experiencing, or even things that they've been carrying with them for a while and need healing. And the feminine is actually helping with the healing. This becomes a part of our physical balancing into unity consciousness for both twins. And I'd like to point out something I struggled with for a while, and my mind is still adjusting, which is that we don't have to be so spiritual that we miss the part about being a human being here in the 3D, like not getting caught up in doctrine or practices, strict routines and such. I think it's about finding your true self, knowing where you stand in your own way of being that resonates with your higher self, your authenticity, and just being open to receiving through your higher self. And you can tell by the resistance felt when you're making decisions. Soul alignment is where self love and unity consciousness are. But I don't believe we will completely be in 5D consciousness all of the time. But because we're aware of it, we're able to take our 3D experience and integrate it with our 5D consciousness. So I think we experience this practicing balancing for a good while because that's what that is. That's bringing that physical and spiritual together in balance. And we do this first to just get into the practicing of it, really getting used to how it feels. And we find our unique balance as a physical being with a mind, body, and emotions, and who we are with that in our soul frequency. I feel like I went through this for many, many months where I was in steady high vibrations for a long time, and I'm still experiencing growth with certain things, but I also know I stand strong on other areas of my life that I didn't before, or maybe I did a long time ago, but I'd lost my footing with it, and now I've got it again. And now, because I'm aware of it, I won't ever lose it again. And once we get to that place of awareness and we're fairly consistent in our balance, I believe we actually begin experiencing things that cause us to get out of balance again, even be faced with things that once triggered us. And they may still trigger us, and that's okay. There may be some healing we're still working through, and there may be some things that we're never fully healed with, though I definitely think we have to get to a place where we recognize how it affects us and we can acknowledge that. But our awareness of that is what I believe is important, and surrendering it to the guidance of your higher self. It's my belief that through surrendering to our divinity and having awareness of our balance through self love, that we come to union with our other experiencer.